Hello, this is Heather from Change Path Crochet. In this video, I'd like to show you how to do a brand new stitch called the Plumage stitch. And I'm calling it the Plumage stitch because feather stitch is taken. But you can see that the stitch here looks like feathers. It can also look like leaves or scales, depending on what you want it to look like. But I'm going to just call it feathers. And so we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to make this one blue and green. I'm using an H hook, 5mm, but you can use whatever is appropriate for your yarn. And for this swatch, I'm going to do multiples of 8 and then add 5 more chains. So for this, I'm going to do 32 plus 5 is 37. So I'll go ahead and fast forward through that. 35, 36, 37. Okay, so I've got my chain here. And let me show you, the first thing we want to do is make this half feather right here. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. To do that, I want to do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then 3 double crochets in the next 3 chains. There's my third. So single crochet and 3 double crochets across 4 chains. And then I want to skip 3 chains and then slip stitch in the next one. And you can see there we've got half of our feather. Now to do the full feather, what we're going to do is crochet up and then back down. To do that, we're going to use foundation stitches, which means we're going to be creating the chain as we go. So we're going to skip 3 chains and make sure you're not counting the one that we've slip stitched in here. So the next one, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. We want to start like we're doing a double crochet, yarn over and insert the hook, and then pull up a loop. If the yarn lets you. Okay, so then we have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to create a chain first. So yarn over and pull through 1 loop, and you still have 3 on your hook. So then you want to yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And you can see it looks like we made a double crochet in a chain. So the next double crochet foundation stitch goes in this chain that we created here. So yarn over and insert your hook in that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 to create a chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then 1 more time, yarn over and insert your hook in the next chain that we just made. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see it looks like we have 3 double crochets here, and then the chains that we made along the way. Next, I want to do a single crochet in the same method. Insert the hook in that chain that we made on that double crochet. Okay, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1, that creates the chain, yarn over and pull through 2, that creates the single crochet. And now we want to do 2 more single crochet stitches in that same chain that we just made. So single crochet number 1, single crochet number 2. So now we have actually 3 single crochets at the top of our feather here. And now we want to crochet back down the other side. So we've got these 3 loops here that are the other side of the chain. that we created when we did these foundation stitches, and we're just going to do a double crochet in each one of those. Okay, and now we're back down to our chain. So I want to skip 3 chains, and don't include this one, if you can see this big hole here. Don't include that one in your count because that's already used. That's where your feather is stitched into. So skip that, and then count 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in the next chain. Okay, so we'll do another one, actually 2 more. So we want to skip 3 chains again, yarn over like we're going to do a double crochet, insert our hook in that next chain, and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through just 1, that creates the chain. Yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2, that creates the double crochet. Do 2 more of those, yarn over, insert the hook in the chain that we just created, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. 1 more, yarn over, insert the hook in the chain we just created, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So again, we've created 3 double crochets, 3 chains. You want to do a single crochet next, foundation single crochet. So insert the hook in the chain we just made under that double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. We want to make 2 more single crochets in that same chain that we just made, right next to the single crochet. So now we have 3 at the top of our feather, and then 3 double crochets down the back side of the feather, just opposite the other double crochets on the other side. So we've created our little mountain there. Skip 3 chains, insert the hook in the next chain, and slip stitch. One more time, skip 3 chains, yarn over and insert your hook in the next chain and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then do that 2 more times. So we're just crocheting up into thin air. Do my single crochet, do 2 more single crochets, and then 3 doubles down the back side. Back to the chain, skip 3, slip stitch in the 4th. Now we have 4 chains left, so we want to skip 3, and then the last one we're going to do the other half feather. So basically just do the first half of this feather. So yarn over, insert your hook in the last chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then do that 2 more times. And then a foundation single crochet, and that's where we end the row. Okay, so that is row 1. And the next row we actually want to change colors. So you can see here in this one, I changed colors for rows 2 and 3 and then switch back for 4 and 5, the way this works out. So to do that, I actually want to change colors before I do this last loop. So let me just take that loop out, put my hook back through the 2 loops, and then I'm going to finish this stitch with another color. I'm going to use green. I like to use slip knots for this. So put a slip knot on the hook and then just pull that through as the last loop. And this is a 2-row repeat as far as the colors go. So I'm going to come back to the blue later. So I'm just going to leave it here and pick it up later. You can just carry the colors up the side and then do a border at the end. So for the next row, row 2, we start with a chain 3 and turn. Get everything out of the way. So chain 3 and turn, and I want to skip all these 4 stitches of the feather, and then in the middle here, in the middle of the valley, we have a slip stitch. And instead of crocheting into the slip stitch though, I want to crochet into the chain below that slip stitch, and that's going to give us the illusion that these feathers are separate from each other. So just do a double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook in that chain below the slip stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 3 and skip 4 stitches on the next feather, 1, 2, 3, 4. That brings you to the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets, and you want to do a slip stitch in just the back loop at the top of that next feather. You can see it looks like a Y, and this is just the stem of the next row of feathers. So do that again, chain 3, double crochet into the chain below the next slip stitch in the valley, chain 3, skip 4 stitches to bring you to the middle stitch of the next feather, do a slip stitch in the back loop only, chain 3, do another double crochet in that chain below the next slip stitch in the valley, chain 3, skip 4 stitches on the next feather, slip stitch in the back loop only of that next stitch in the middle. And the reason I do the back loop only is it gives this illusion, I guess, on this is the right side. It'll really make it look separate from each other. So, chain 3, do another double crochet in the chain below the slip stitch, chain 3, and then we're going to skip 4 stitches, which is all you have. And so there's a little loop here on the side of this single crochet. I'm just gonna slip stitch right in there at the top of the feather. So that is row 2. For the next row, we're going to turn and do the feathers on top of these stems. So no chains at the beginning, just turn. I'm going to skip these 3 chains and do a feather in this double crochet. So just like before, we're going to yarn over and insert our hook in that double crochet and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to do that foundation double crochet. We'll do 2 more of those. Just like before. and then a single crochet foundation stitch. So yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then 2 more single crochets in that same chain, and then 3 double crochets down the back of the feather. Then we want to skip 3 chains and slip stitch in the back loop of this other slip stitch at the top of the last feather that we did over there. And then, yeah, slip stitch. The reason I do the back loop only here, we're actually going to cover this up with the next row of stems, and it's just easier to get the hook in there. So that's why I do back loop only here. The next feather, we just yarn over, insert the hook in the double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just like before, we do a total of 3 foundation double crochet stitches up, and then a foundation single crochet up, 2 more single crochets in the same chain, and then 3 double crochets down the back. So you can see you get in a rhythm with this. Skip 3 chains, slip stitch in the back loop only of the other slip stitch from the previous row, and then do another feather in the next stem. And you'll do these all the way across, depending on how large you want this to be. Slip stitch in the back loop only of the next slip stitch. And I'm on the last one, and it's just the same as before. And now we're at the end of the last feather, and I'm just going to insert my hook here on the side of this loop, and I want to change colors now. So I've done 2 rows of green. I've done the stem row and then the feather row, and I just want to pull the blue from down below where it was and finish my slip stitch with the blue. And then that gives me my color change. Okay, so that's row 1, 2, 3. For row 4, we want to chain 6. And that counts as a double crochet plus a chain 3. So chain 6 and turn. And then skip 4 stitches on the feather and slip stitch in the back loop only of the middle single crochet, just like that. Chain 3, and then similar to what we did before, we want to double crochet but around these 2 slip stitches that we've got here in green. We want to double crochet all the way into the back loop of the blue in row 1. So yarn over, insert your hook all the way into the feather below, and pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you might need to pull that first loop up kind of high to get over these 2 slip stitches. So go ahead and do that if you need to. Chain 3, skip 4 stitches, which brings you to the middle stitch. Do a slip stitch in the back loop only. Chain 3, double crochet again into the back loop, the stitch below those 2 slip stitch rows. And you can see doing that separates the green so they look like independent feathers. So we did our chain 3, skip 4 stitches, slip stitch into the back loop only of the middle single crochet, and do that across. Chain 3, double crochet into the rows below, chain 3, slip stitch into the middle stitch of the next feather, chain 3, and then we're at the end here, and you want to double crochet in the same stitch that you did before at the top here of row 1. Okay, so that is row 4. And then row 5, we want to start again with half a feather. To do that, we're going to chain 5 and turn. And then in that chain 5, you want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then do 3 double crochets in the next 3 chains. Skip 3 chains, slip stitch in the back loop only of the slip stitch at the top of the next feather. And then do a feather in the middle, in the double crochet here in the middle of the next one. Yarn over, insert your hook in the double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just like before. Foundation single crochet, 2 more single crochets, 3 doubles, down the back. Skip 3 chains, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next slip stitch, and do that all the way across. So I've just done a slip stitch in the back loop only at the top of the last feather, and so I need to do the other half feather. So any rows where you start with a half feather, you need to end with a half feather. Now in this case, we started the last row with a chain 6. So we need to also skip 3 chains just like before and do the last feather, last half feather in the 3rd chain from the hook. So, well, I should say it's 4 chains from the hook where it is. So yarn over and insert your hook. So it's like at the top of the double crochet if the chain 3 is a double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're just doing the first half of a feather. So 3 foundation double crochets and then a single foundation crochet. And at this point, if I were to continue, I would switch back to the green in the last loop of that last stitch. Okay. So here we are. This is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to continue, you keep doing rows 2 through 5. So you'd continue back with the green, do the stems, do the feathers, and then switch back to blue and make this as long as you want. So that is the plumage stitch. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much. Take care and happy crocheting.